So I'm going to explain about authentication in apps. Have you ever wondered why some apps don't just work? Somebody tells you that they have built an app and then you go to check it and you can't even log in. Or registration just fails. You can't register or OTP never comes. What the hell is wrong? You understand? Even big companies in Nigeria, some of them the OTP never arrives. You will now start trying to reach out to the customer care and then you don't get a response for 2 weeks. Have you ever wondered that why that is the problem? So I'm going to explain the proper way to build authentication in apps that it will not fail. Listen. Now, what is authentication? You want to make sure that you know that the user that is coming in is the person they say they are. You want to cross-check them against a record you already have in the database. If their record doesn't exist, you want to create a record for them, right? That is the summary of authentication. Now, why should this process take you 3 months to build? It's simple, right? Many people can't launch apps because they can't just get past the authentication. Because one, they want to build it themselves. So if you are trying to launch an app on your own or with your small team, use a ready-made authentication package. Any programming language or platform or framework you're using to build your app has a package that handles authentication. Use it so that you can get done in 1 day. Authentication should not take you 3 weeks, 3 months, and still be failing. Use a ready-made package, okay, because it solves 99% of your problem. Okay. Now, also remember that if you're not running a security-intensive app, make the authentication simple. The number of steps users have to pass through to finally get to their dashboard should be shortened. Unless you are running some page stack or some banking application, do you understand? Or some nuclear missile controlling app of controlling fighter jets, you don't need multi-factor authentication. Don't be carried away. Let me tell you. Let me explain. The simple way, the way that people normally log in. Like now, if you want to log into AWS, right? You see that you have to authenticate multiple times before you finally get to your dashboard. And if you get to your dashboard, it will still time you out if you don't do anything for a while. That's understandable because it's very security intensive. So in AWS, first of all, you choose whether you want to log in as root user or just a regular user. First authentication, you choose root user. So now ask you your email. You enter your email. It will go to the next page and ask you your password. This third step now, you give your password. It will verify it against the database, confirming that this is you. But that's not enough. Next page, it will ask you for your to do a captcha. Captcha is when they give you a picture that has numbers and tell you to write the numbers. You verify against the captcha, you get the numbers correctly. Next page again, it will send something to your authentication app, like your Google Authenticator. A number. You will go there to your phone, open the app, collect the number, and enter. Before you can log in, almost 5 steps to log in. And still, if you Google, you'll see that AWS still gets hacked every year. In fact, it's one of the most hacked apps in the world. Most hacked. Go and check it. Millions of users that are leaking out every year. AWS. With all this authentication. And I'm telling you, as the years come by, hacking gets better. And then they will have to add more and more. Till one day they will ask you to cut off your head and put there before you can log in. But that's what AWS is needed there, right? But your simple app, your simple delivery app does not need all that. If you put that much authentication, people will quit the process before it completes. And all these authentication levels, each of them are points of failure. One of them can fail, and if it fails, the user cannot log in. Imagine that your OTP service fails, your email service fails, your authenticator service fails. So you're just introducing unnecessary complexity. If you are running a simple regular app, you don't need all that complexity. So let me show you the simple way. Users enter their email. Email is very important. I understand that some apps will need phone number, but even if your app is a primarily phone number app like WhatsApp is primarily phone number, still try and get their email. Facebook eventually has the email of WhatsApp users, because when they bought WhatsApp, they now know how to sync WhatsApp to your Facebook account. Alarm no reach your side. I didn't know this until I wanted to, when Facebook blocked one of our lines, customer care lines on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp will just wake up one morning and WhatsApp is not working. The number is blocked from WhatsApp, banned. We started trying to reach out to Facebook. We realized that in the process they even knew the Facebook account. So at the end of the day, so the simple way to build authentication, your users come to your page, enter their email, and then once they enter their email, you first check whether the email exists in your database or not. If it doesn't exist, the next page should be a warning: this email does not exist in our database. And that page should be the registration page. So you create a warning, you write out the email again so that the user will see the email. So you can say something like, this email does not exist in our database, please verify that you entered it correctly. Okay? And then what they will see right there is the registration page. You can tell them you can create an account below. If you don't want to do it like that, just tell them, then they verify. Another way to solve this problem is to give 2 boxes for email and confirm email. This is your login page, no password, no nothing. Email, confirm email. Okay, so by the time anybody writes their email twice, you have confirmed that they are sure of the spelling, because most people make mistakes in the spelling of the email. So if they got it correctly and it exists in your database, which means they have registered before, the next page should show them enter OTP, which means you have sent them an OTP to their email. That OTP is just a set of 4 to 6 numbers, right? Or even alphabets. It's better you use numbers, right? It's easier. So when they go there, they will copy the number, paste it, and they have logged in. They don't need password. Password is olden days. You understand? And for complex apps, if you're running a banking ATM app, you don't need password. So send them randomly generate a number, save that number in your DB, send it to them in their email. When they collect it from their email and come back, they will now enter it. Now this is not super secure, but for most apps it should work. If somebody is trying to register as a delivery driver in your delivery app, they should be able to log in quickly within 1 second. Because most users are not sophisticated. They don't know what is the authenticator app. They don't know what is multi-factor authentication app. Even the email is even complicating things. But you can't get it any simpler than that. Now, if you can implement an SMS, authentication, ask them for their number. Okay? Assuming the email is not working, give people options to reach out to admin right there. Or or choose another method of authentication right there. So once you tell them you have sent them their OTP, tell them to check their email and spam box. And then give them option under, you now give an OTP box, right? Under it, you now say, couldn't log in or didn't receive OTP, chat up admin. Or, yes, chat up admin must be there, but you can also add authenticate or log in with phone number. Log in with any other method you have. These days there is Google login, Gmail login, Facebook login, something like that. So once they authenticate, come back, they are logged in, right? No need for password. People don't need to remember their password. People always forget their password, always. And then they don't know how to do forgot password. So eliminate the whole forgot password feature. It's not needed. So it's either the person is logging in with Gmail, that they are a Google login, or they are logging in with email and OTP. That simplifies your login and reduces 99% of failures in that place. Alright? Now, why didn't I preach Google login or social media login at first? Many people will not want, because once they click it and it takes them to where they see their emails, they will think you're about to hack them. It's a fake site. So that's not something you should put. I'm telling you from experience, from running online businesses. People will think it's a hack. So they will not want to approve the login from their Gmail or their Facebook login. So it should be a second option. It should be there, but at the bottom. So you put email, enter your email, continue, or send OTP. When they click on it, next page, they enter the OTP, login. That's it. Then other forms of login should be under. Most importantly, a way to chat up admin immediately. You don't want somebody coming to your page, trying to log in and it fails, and they don't know what to do from there on. And this is a big mistake by many apps. Put admin chat there. Now, how do you handle user registration? The best way to handle it, the best way is get the user details first before you ask them to register. So you should allow, your app should allow email only registrations. Here's what I mean. When in registration forms, usually the form fields are long. Many people will quit if they see more than 2 or 3 form fields. And you know that during registration, you want to get as much information from the user as possible so that you will know what to show them in their dashboard, right? So you can eliminate the register page completely. All right. So users click to log in or view dashboard or something like that. What they will see is email and confirm email. So if they enter their email and enter confirm email, click next. You will check whether that email exists in your DB. If it doesn't exist, you create it. You register it in your users table, just the email, right? Nothing else in the users table. You can register things like in the background, like the location. You can fetch the location, the name of the phone and whatever. You can fetch some of this background information. But primarily, you are using the user's email. You have saved it in your database as a new registration. Now, but the user himself, on that page, you're now seeing that you have sent them an OTP. So when they get to their email and collect the OTP and enter, they log in. All right? Easy. Now you have the user's email and the login is completed. But now, you can then ask them, present them a form to fill to complete their registration. So instead of calling it complete registration, you now call it complete your profile, complete user profile. So the problem you just solved now is that you now have the user's email, and your autoresponder, your email can keep sending, your email service can keep sending them reminder email to complete their registration, so that you don't lose users that come to your platform the first time. Because some people will run ads, for instance, 10,000 users will come from that app to their platform, and when they come, they will see a long registration form. Out of that 10,000, 8,000 will abandon the form. Do you understand? 2,000 will start filling it. In the process, one of the steps will break and then they abandon. So you don't want all that. If 10,000 people are clicking to come to your platform, 10,000 people should be registered. So what you do is simply ask them for email and confirm email. They write the same email twice, get to the next page. If the emails don't match, then don't allow the button to click to get to the next page. Tell them that it doesn't match so that they will be forced to enter the correct valid email. So when they get to the next page, then you show them an OTP. They copy the OTP from their email, confirming that that's a real email. So the emails that are not verified in your database will be marked as not verified. In your users table, you have a field like email verified at. This is a time stamp, all right? So once the email is verified, you put a timer on it, the time it was verified. So your users where their email is not verified, you can confirm that at some point, maybe after 2 or 3 months, you can write a cron job. After 2 or 3 months, you should delete all. That means it's not a real, it's a fake email, right? So you are pre-registering the user and then completing their profile. That eliminates register form. So on your website, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have a register link. You can still have login and register because that's what users are used to. Okay, if I come to a new platform now, I will not click the login button. I'll click the register button. So if they click the register button, you still take them to that login page where they enter their email and the confirm email, period. It's the same. You don't need a register button. So once they get to their dashboard, first time you show them the form to complete the registration form. But you now call it complete your profile. Or can we get more information from you? Whatever. Once they finish that, you now show them their dashboard. Simple. You see that this system now does not use a forgot password. That's an unnecessary complexity. Change password, unnecessary complexity. Nobody needs that. You see that you've shaved out 2 to 3 weeks from your project now, and you have also shaved out points of failure. Okay, it doesn't use registration page. Shaved out too. So people landing on your page and getting in and having a dashboard is super simple. Now another thing is, make sure you're always collecting phone number of users. as much as possible, because once you get the phone number, you can always provide them an alternative means to register. So once the person has used their email and logged in, that form should collect their phone number. And here is how you do it. Phone numbers usually have country extension. Like my phone number can be +2348010, something like that. That's a country. So that +234, many people don't know how to enter it. So they will just write 080 whatever. And you might be thinking that most of your customers are, for instance, Nigerians. But there could be a Nigerian in Qatar, for instance, Doha, Qatar. And the phone number starts from maybe +971, something like that. He will not enter that +971. He will start from the 080. So you see that it's not his phone number that you have the phone number, but that's not his phone number because you don't have the country extension. So always have a form that has list of countries and their extension. Then beside it, you will now have the field for phone number. You understand? Then you use a placeholder to write a sample of the phone number. You see? So you allow it like that. When they finish filling the form, you have that field for phone number, right? When they finish filling the form and click save, the next page should verify that phone number. So the next page will now be like, we have sent you an OTP on this phone number. You will now give them another OTP. This one, they're already inside their dashboard. So when they enter it, boom, you have confirmed the phone number. And in your database, phone numbers that have not been confirmed will be marked as not confirmed. So where you are telling them to confirm, you also give them option to skip. Because not all phone numbers receive SMSs. You get, I can be in Nigeria and I leave Nigeria and move to Canada and I have a phone number in Nigeria. It's no longer receiving SMSs, but I still use it maybe for WhatsApp. Then I enter it. So the user should have option of skipping. So you just mark on a database that this phone number is not verified. Whenever they come to their profile, they will still see the option to verify phone number. So that you have at least 2-3 ways for them to log in when next they want to log in. Then next, always put a very long session. You understand? Most apps don't need to. Why are you throwing users out? You are not building a nuclear bomb verification system. Why are you throwing users out? Users go through the pain of logging into your app and they come back the next day, you have logged them out. Because of what? Because you read some book about security. Who is going to hack your useless app? Do you understand? So I'm just telling you how to quickly get to MVP. These things are not necessary. Except when you now want to get some ISO certification for security or whatever, international certification. Sometimes, some of these times, you invite the security body, they'll come and go through your systems. They will use your app and they mark out places you need to improve user security. But before your project can get to that point, you understand, you would have made a lot of money trading and then you want to move it to the next step. Don't build all these things on day one. It's just going to slow you down. Imagine spending 1 to 3 months just trying to get the user login properly. I know a project that we are part of. This project did 2 years. The login system was still failing at some point. We'll do 2-3 weeks and a customer will send a message. I've been trying to log in, I'm not logging in. Or one of the business people will go to demo the app. They will now tell the customer to log in and the login will not fail. They will be there at the customer's office calling the developers. Developers will start going through the DPP because the login is complex. So if you are launching an MVP, launching an app, and you have a small team, get past the authentication really quickly. Now, one of the reasons why I said you should use packages, if you have option of packages, right, is because most of those packages have covered many of the loopholes, security loopholes, right? Usually not all, but many that you would have overlooked. If you just build the login yourself and you're not using a framework, if you're using the language, for instance, if you're using PHP to build a login system, or you're using React to build a log by yourself, there are so many security loopholes you will not even think of. But it will make your app vulnerable. But if you use a package, the package has covered most of those. Also, if you use a framework, the framework covers most of those. You understand? The framework automatically takes care of most of the security framework like Laravel, like Django, they have. So that's it. The final thing you should do is make sure you follow me, like, subscribe, and I'm on TikTok as Dave Partner. Follow me. Final thing is to make sure that your users can chat up admin at every page of your app. So at the bottom,